Yes, sir. My Tricka, back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be taking a look at some mysterious videos that'll make your jaw drop. But before we hop into that, go ahead and spam that like button right now so we can run the numbers up on the algorithm. And you ain't even gotta think about it later. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that sub button too. Sub up, join the family. This is the most lit and active community on YouTube, period. With that being said, guys, let's hop straight into the video.
There's a leaf in our backyard that's been going crazy back here, so we're going out to investigate. But for real though, look at this one leaf. It's been doing this for like 10 minutes now. There's no wind, nothing. This leaf is just going wild. I can't explain it. Look, nothing else moving, just that leaf. I can't explain this. Why this leaf so lit?
Maybe the leaf is in a position where the wind can hit it just right, or it's a fade trap. Either way, it shouldn't be doing a Macarena like this.
What are these lines in the sky that we have all seen?
They're sprayed particulate dispersion. Bottom line is, when we have up-close film footage of these aircraft at altitude with nozzles visible turning dispersions on and off, this is not, quote, condensation. Geoengineeringwatch.org is the only entity to sample what these heavy aircraft are emitting at altitude. We found exactly what we knew we would find, starting with aluminum nanoparticles. Bioavailable freeform aluminum is toxic to all life, period. That element is named in numerous climate engineering patents as part of a geoengineering dispersion element. This elephant in the sky that we are told is a conspiracy theory is exactly what the entire global climate science community says we need to deploy immediately to slow down the warming of the planet.
I feel like there has to be a hidden agenda behind this, because I'm sure there's a much better way to cool the planet that doesn't involve us breathing in aluminum every day.
Oh God! She's like right there.
She's not. I'm not afraid of her.
No, yeah.
I like her. She's
Put it straight up.
literally moving in my hand.
Put it straight up again. Try.
Wow.
My camera's
My whole
blurry.
entire body is
Oh,
just
look at this!
hot.
Look at this! Look.
Oh my goodness.
I can't. Oh. Do you guys see what I'm looking at right now?
Oh my God!
What's in that?
Dude! Is it
Like, get this.
You love it.
Are you recording this? Please record. She likes wine.
Oh! Yo!
This video might be the best evidence of paranormal activity I've ever seen. A ghost was trying to grab that sucker like it was trick-or-treating.
Oh, the drone shooting across the sky?
No.
No, it's like some spots up.
Oh, what the is this? Yo, what the is that, y'all?
It's kind of hard to see because the objects are so small, but it looks like it's either a flock of birds or a bunch of metallic orbs. Maybe that's why they were cloud seeding so nobody could see them.
It's 2025 and we're literally flaying ladybot androids on stage to prove they're real. The floodgates are opening for humanoid chore robot companies unveiling their products. And after the hullabaloo that Neo just stirred up, this other robot-made organization called Xpeng needed to get the record straight that their iron robots designed to look like female humans are in fact not just a person wearing a full body costume. I kinda get it too. There's a few moments while the thing's walking up to the presentation stage where the legs look a little too human-like. They wound up doing a follow-up event where they literally took engineers onto the stage to cut the artificial skin and muscle tissue from the left leg of the robot to expose the inner mechanisms of the thing before it walked off of the stage. And despite knowing that it's definitely not a person, it's still kind of an uncomfy watch. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Instead of trying to make them look so human-like, they need to work on making them faster, because when they demoed the Neo robot, it took them 3 days to unload the dishwasher, and for $20,000, that's unacceptable.
For the first time in human history, there are mosquitoes in Iceland.
Oh no!
That's crazy.
Scientists are like, we have no idea how they got here.
How they got there, also how they're surviving.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is up to something, dude.
Don't you think they're gonna take us out?
We're experiencing that polar shift, dude.
Or they're genetically modifying mosquitoes so they can live in any climate.
Maybe.
They're the new cockroach.
Maybe.
You can't
Freaky though.
super freaky.
Which I will say, everything's been weird this year. We say that every year. Like,
yeah, I know it.
but if you look at, because you know, like the poles shift, it affects weather, ecosystems. And if you look at this year's hurricanes, dude, they are taking that same track. They're not hitting the US.
I mean, let's not pretend that bugs being modified, weather manipulation, all this stuff isn't happening and isn't real. It's been in the books, in courtrooms, documents, CIA, FBI, all this stuff. It's happening.
Oh yeah.
And so we just don't know what we're going to be reading about in 30 years. Like, oh yeah, in 2025 they were doing this, they got caught in that, and they had, the documents got declassified later on. It's like we're living in things that we don't even know. We're surrounded by it.
Yeah.
And if it is being manipulated, you're playing with people's lives. And it's crazy.
We've seen that there's laboratories that are breeding genetically modified mosquitoes to eliminate certain diseases, so it wouldn't surprise me if they were modifying their genetics to survive different climates as well.
Oh my gosh, right now we are out and there's a periscope taking pictures of us in the water. This is so freaky. Holy crap, it is looking around.
And it's going to...
It's going down. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Oh my gosh.
If I was on that boat, we would be headed back to dry land so fast the motors would start smoking.
Did you know that Orwell's 1984 was published by the Warburg family? They were the family that was basically, they had the biggest hands in the creation of the Federal Reserve. And I think there's something almost like poetic in the irony of them writing the technocratic dystopian empire that we're living in right now. I just find that, like, I don't know, quite amusing. This is my driver. And what else can you do behind? Let's make behind a word. What else can you do besides make jokes about the ridiculous absurdity?
Like she said, Paul Warburg was instrumental in establishing the Federal Reserve, so the fact that his family published 1984 tells me that it probably wasn't just a fictional novel, it was them laying out the plan to avoid karmic retribution.
The disturbing fact of the day is that this is not grass, they're worms. Millions of tiny worms. Dude, the hell is up with all these worms?
I don't even know how to ski, but if I saw this, I would be headed back down the mountain like an Olympian.
In 2012, deep in the mountains of Afghanistan, a US Special Forces team reportedly vanished inside a cave. What they found, according to rumors, wasn't a weapon or a bunker. They found something far stranger. A metallic craft buried in stone shaped like no aircraft known to man. They found a Vimana, a 5,000-year-old flying engine described in India's ancient texts. And the soldiers? They were sucked into a time bubble. What? I know that sounds fantastical, but let's rewind. What actually is a Vimana? In the Sanskrit epics Mahabharata and Ramayana, the gods didn't just fly. They piloted gleaming ships that could rise into the sky like a sun, fire blazing missiles, and even cross into the realm of the stars. Some were as huge as a palace, covered in gold and mirrors. Others, like King Ravana's Pushpaka Vimana, could travel anywhere at the speed of thought. Sounds like a UFO. And yeah, this all sounds like mythology. But here's where it gets weird. A text called the Vaimanika Shastra claimed to be a technical manual on how Vimanas actually work, complete with fuel recipes, flight instructions, and anti-gravity principles. How did an ancient text know anything about all this? But scientists later tested it and said the aerodynamics were impossible. But believers argue the text was only a fragment, evidence of lost technology from an advanced civilization wiped out by time. Skeptics say it's all poetic metaphor, divine imagination, not divine engineering. Others claim that the story of US soldiers finding a 5,000-year-old Vimana in a cave is a complete hoax. The Vaimanika Shastra also has some holes in its theory, but I dive way deeper into this fascinating machine known as the Vimana in my latest YouTube video, so go give it a watch if you have the time.
I want to say that this story is a hoax, because if we ever discovered an actual Vimana, they would be reverse engineering at Area 51 right now and we would never hear about it.
It's not about compensation. It's not like I'm going to go out and buy a yacht with it or something. It's just that if I'm going to build up Optimus and have all these robots out there, I need to make sure we do not have a Terminator scenario, maximize the safety of the robots. And I feel like I need to have something like a 25% vote, which is enough of a vote to have a strong influence, but not so much of a vote that I can't be fired if I go insane. But my concern would be, creating this army of robots and then being fired for political reasons because ISIS and Glass Lewis fire me effectively, or the activists at those firms fire me, even though I've done everything right.
Yeah.
That's my concern. And then I cannot ensure the safety of the robots.
If you don't get that vote, it doesn't go your way. It looks like it's going to. Would you leave? I mean, is that even in the cards? I heard the board was very concerned about that.
Let's just say I'm not going to build a robot army if I can be easily kicked out by activist investors.
My question is, how much money will it take for him to not build a robot army? Whatever it is, pay the man.
Okay, so it says, oh my God, look at, oh my, this is it. This is the orbs. I think this is the orbs. More recently, a colliding beam fusion reactor space propulsion system has been proposed in 2004, and it is shown right here. More recent, the reaction is the proton boron 11. Oh! Although deuterium, tritium, and helium-3 deuterium reactions were also considered. It is an evolution of the ion ring concept. Neutral beams are injected to produce a current that sustains the configuration. So the neutral beams can sustain the configuration. The beams tend to thermalize, and this effect must be compensated by continuous injection, which requires non-negligible amount of recirculating power. So the idea here is what we're doing is we're confining our plasma in this tube, and then it produces external magnetic fields around the entire structure that creates the sphere map. And boron 11, just like with helium-3, is aneutronic. Aneutronic means that the only thing being released in this interaction are alpha particles, no neutrons. So this is directly producing electricity with this configuration.
This could explain why there's been such an influx of orb sightings lately. A lot of them could be man-made.
Stop driving the Waymos. No. They are just randomly stopped. It's a person? Yeah. It's there's somebody in there? Yeah, there's somebody in there.
I can't get out the car.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. She can't get out the car.
I kept saying it like I can't.
Why you bang on the window, girl? We could have saved you. You need help? Oh my goodness.
It's stuck.
Somebody's in there.
Oh my gosh. And they're stuck. Like the door is locked and it's not letting you out.
You can't get out? Come to the window, we'll save you.
If I ever need a ride, I'm either hailing a taxi or calling an Uber because the Waymo is out here kidnapping people.
Amazon is adding facial recognition to Ring cameras starting next month, except in the 3 places where it's illegal. That should tell you something. The future lets Ring owners create a database of familiar faces, but to identify who's familiar, the camera has to scan everyone, creating what's called a face print, a unique biometric map of your face. Amazon says the feature won't be available in Illinois, Texas, or Portland. Why? Because those states have strict biometric privacy laws. They're not blocking it to be nice, they're blocking it because they know they'll get sued. Google paid $1.4 billion for capturing facial geometry without consent. Similarly, Facebook paid over $2 billion in discontinued tag suggestions. The Electronic Frontier Foundation points out Amazon knows this, but doing it anyway, just not in states where the laws have teeth. Your face, the mail carrier's face, kids selling cookies, all scanned and stored for up to 6 months, even if you're never tagged.
I wouldn't be surprised if the true purpose for this feature was to sell this data to the feds, because I don't need my doorbell to recognize familiar faces when I can just open up the app and see who it is myself.
You know how people say they have private conversations and then all of a sudden they see advertisements for it on their phone? What if these companies have found a way to tap into this frequency that our body is emitting? Did you know that the human body emits a frequency? The frequency is called IEEE 802.15.6. Is a standard for short-range, low-power, and highly reliable wireless communication in, on, and around the human body. So the human body emits a frequency that someone can log into, just like how we log into a hotspot or into a Wi-Fi network. What if someone can log on to our network? You know how people say they have private conversations and then all of a sudden they see advertisements for it on their phone? What if these companies have found a way to tap into this frequency that our body is emitting? If our body is emitting a frequency, then there's no way that they're not using our phones to tap into that frequency. And people can take over computers through a encrypted website link. I'm sure they have found a way to take over our computer.
There's a woman named Sabrina Wallace that breaks down body area networks in the human biofield, and based on her research, they can definitely do this.
Dude, is that robin like floating in the sky? Whoa, that is so weird. Now birds are just floating? What?
And there has to be a power line that we just can't see, because I know this bird isn't just levitating.
Access to your social media.
Oh, that's a very common thing now. A lot of games, they are heavily incentivizing linking your social media accounts to your game accounts and letting them see your contacts, your friends list. Well, because they want all that data, they want to know who they can market to. They want to see what your demographics are. They want to say, what is this customer like? How
can you opt out?
So there are some games that require you to have social media integration. There's other, you have people with dark patterns.
No.
So like there are these patterns that exist in social media design and app design that steer you down a particular direction. And so they don't force you to do it, but the average user, unless they're trying to fight their way out of it, is going to do it. So for example, I'll be logging into a game. I've just downloaded Overwatch 2 and it says you need to log in. You can either go through this extremely convoluted process of creating a new only Overwatch 2 Blizzard account, or you can click the button that says log in with Google or log in with Facebook. What are 99? Right. And then it's you click it and it says, to do this, you have to give us permission to see this. And look, you and I care about this stuff because I think we're relics who remember when privacy was a thing and when some things are for yourself. A lot of these kids, they just don't care.
They just click it.
You talk to the Gen Z kids and it's like, well, why do you want, are you going to give that away? They say, well, like they don't see value in it, and they grew up with that as the norm. Right. And that's why I say it's important to remember when it wasn't the norm.
I used to be excited about the future and all this new technology, but once these companies started mining and selling our data, it kind of ruined everything.
That's a lava nado or a volcano nado. That is a tornado from a volcano. We got to capture a bit more of that. Like, that is incredible.
This would be beautiful to witness in person, just not this close, because if you get swallowed up by a tornado, it's over with.
A lot of you have been commenting on You Know Who's video, and it's kind of got me wondering, is human cloning possible? We're able to clone Dolly the sheep, and they also resurrected a pair of direwolves. However, most believe that human cloning is an absolute reach. However, they've hinted to it in movies like Multiplicity.
By a miracle of modern science, I just need a little time for myself. Doug Kinney is about to get the one thing he needs more of. Doug, your clone. Self.
Didn't turn out too well because the clones were making other clones and they were just getting dumber and dumber until eventually.
Doug, I'd like to read your book. This is where yours come from. We made a copy from two. And you know sometimes you make a copy of a copy, it's not quite as sharp as, well, the original.
Like in the newly released movie Mickey 17, where Robert Pattinson's character hates his life on Earth so much that he signs up to be an expendable.
Mickey, deep breaths. Imagine there's an unknown virus in the air and you're sucking in every single microscopic particle floating around.
And then you have the movie The Substance, in which Demi Moore's character is so desperate for youth that she uses a black market substance extracted from her younger self. A lot of you call this conspiracy, but what if we've known about this for a long, long time? Listen closely.
It's called SCNT. It was announced all over the news, and I broke through taking my old skin cell. I took a woman's egg, took her DNA out of it, put my DNA into it, and grew it in vitro, and developed my own stem cell lines. Wow! I'm the only guy in the world today who has me in a petri dish before I was born.
And after only 2 years of not being able to obtain his substance, he went from this to this, which makes me wonder, is truth more stranger than fiction?
If they can clone a sheep or a direwolf, then chances are they can clone a human, but they need to do more research with the stem cell anti-aging, because Peter Nygaard went from looking 60 years old to 360 years old in 2 years.
You just brought up the unfinished obelisk in Egypt. That was by far the largest obelisk that they had ever created, okay? More than double the size of the biggest one.
Right.
Meanwhile, in Easter Island, the largest moai ever that was being created, like 2 to 3 times bigger than any of the moai that are there, was being taken out of the host rock, just like in Egypt. Meanwhile, you go across the world to China. You go to a place called Yangshan Quarry in China, and they were in the middle of taking out the largest blocks in human history. Some of them weighed like well over 1,000 tons. Meanwhile, you add one more, Baalbek, Lebanon, and the quarries there, they were taking out the largest that they'd ever done, and they never made it out of the quarry. What you have in common with all of these locations from everywhere around the world is that the civilization was in the midst of creating the largest that they had ever created of these structures, which means that they're at the height of their civilization because they were taking on the biggest projects they'd ever done globally. Everyone was. And then all of a sudden the work stopped out of nowhere and they just vanished. That tells us a few things. It tells us, one, they probably were caught off guard somewhat, or they wouldn't be taking on massive projects right before they're about to be destroyed. And two, the scope of these events must have been so severe that most of them must have perished.
If we apply this to our current situation, globally, AI is the largest project that we've ever taken on as a civilization between all the data centers and infrastructure. So we need to be careful that history doesn't repeat itself.
Oh, that's wild. It reads, I took this picture of my boss lifting the door to a storage unit, which is, I would hate to be a ghost haunting a storage unit.
Although you have to imagine there are a lot of them, because storage units oftentimes just collect people's stuff even after they die.
Right.
People estate sales while they're moving things around. It might be the first location that a haunted object goes to after a tragedy.
And I captured this. He was still reaching up to open the door when I snapped it. And it looks like they caught a teenage boy who was in his emo phase.
Zoom in on his neck, and that's what I thought the injury point was.
Yeah.
It's either that,
when you zoom in, you actually get a good look at his face. He kind of looks like Adam Driver. It's unnerving to get that close, actually. Now that we've enlarged it, he is.
I like him from afar.
Yeah, the further away he is, the more I'm like, oh yeah, he's just chilling in there.
He's just a cool guy.
He's a cool guy. But when you get close, you're like, oh no, there's something wrong with him.
If this was my storage unit, it would be up for auction by now because I'm not going back. I'm not sure how legitimate this footage is, but it kind of looks like a skinwalker in the process of shapeshifting into a velociraptor.
Scientists discovered the world's largest spiderweb. In a sulfur cave on the Albanian-Greek border, scientists have discovered what they're calling the world's largest singular spiderweb. The massive web stretches across 1,140 square feet, about half the size of a tennis court. According to their article published in Subterranean Biology, a peer-reviewed open-access journal, the scientists estimate the web is home to 2 rival species of spiders living together in a colony, approximately 69,000 common house spiders and 42,000 vagrant spiders. They describe it as the first documented case of colonial web formation in these species. A video sparking attention online shows one of the researchers touching the web, filled with over 110,000 spiders. What do you think of the world's largest spider web?
I thought the Juro spider in my backyard had the largest web in the world, but clearly I was mistaken.
Oh, 你妈的！出来！ 操你妈！嗯，出来！啥玩意儿？啥？有人吗？操你妈的！操你妈！你妈了个逼！
Clearly this is an abandoned building, so he shouldn't even be here in the first place. Now he trapped in the basement with Slender Man.
She just experienced the scariest moment of her life, because as she was recording her cat, she called it over, but it didn't respond. Moments later, a bright flash appeared out of nowhere, but when she rewatched the footage, she realized that wasn't her cat.
If this was my cat, I would have to leave it at the doorstep of the nearest humane society with a bowl of meow mix and never look back. Are they sure that this is a ceiling fan? Because it's moving like a helicopter propeller. It was about to lift the whole house off the foundation. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.